Okay, and welcome to this episode of the Destiny Corner podcast. I'm your host, Dimitri, aka Prophet, joined once again by Proto, aka John,
Hi.
and Joker.
What's going on?
All right. What an interesting week it has been in Destiny. Festival of the Lost, a really cool TWAB, an interesting trailer. So,
Fucking called that one, by the way.
yeah, you did
Sorry.
call that one. No, you did. You did call that one.
I'm joking.
But let's jump right into it. But quickly, we'll mention a tweet that Bungie just put out. Bungie 39 minutes ago just said, we further adjusted drop rates to Cypher decoders so that 2 drop per activity completion when applicable. We'll continue to monitor feedback over the weekend. Please note ciphers do not drop from the following: enemy kills, Gambit, forges, and non-playlist strikes, because fuck Gambit.
Right?
But
That's
this is a
game
great
modist.
move. Yeah, right. This is a really good move, obviously. I mean, these things were not dropping. I mean, they were so rare. And the farm for it until it got nerfed immediately really sucked. So this is a good move. Again, though, and it's the classic thing, why wasn't this the plan from the first place? You know, such an easy thing to do. But, and look, pat him on the back, yes. But why didn't the event just ship like that? It seems that every time we have an event with a currency like this, it's always like a week later, almost, where they're like, "Oh, you know what? We gotta adjust the drop rate." And I know they're busy working on everything, but I mean, does nobody ever in the meeting say like maybe we should have them drop after every activity?
Maybe they think
Well,
we won't notice.
Here's my thing. Sorry.
No.
Why are we like farming a cipher from other things so then we can actually do the event and then can get loot from the event? So then, like, we can get the stuff from fucking whatever her name is, Savathun, not Savathun, Grandma.
Yeah.
Fuck Ava Levante. Fuck it. Why are we going and having to play strikes and shit like that or whatever you got to do to get them instead of I don't know, skipping the step entirely and letting people open chests at the end of their runs based on how many runs they've done? Gasp. Shock. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. What do you think, John?
It doubles or triples the amount of investment time for gameplay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what they want. They just want you to play more and think, oh, well, I'll just have another game. I'll have another match. I'll have another round. I'll do some more bounties. I'll get some more dust. I'll buy some more stuff off the Eververse. I agree it would be good that way as an alternative. Give us both options. Give us the way it is now, because I enjoy that, but also give it, if I want to run 5 forests to get the same amount of loot as if I did, I can't even do 5 gambits because they don't drop there, but if I did menageries as part of interference, for example, I could skip that if I didn't want to do it, and I could just do more forests to get the same result. So it should be player choice, end of the day, shouldn't it? So
Yeah, and I definitely agree with the whole idea that it just kind of puzzles my mind that it's always seems like I know why it is, but making us play outside activities instead of playing the Haunted Forest, which is actually fun. Like I like the Haunted Forest. It's fun. Like I love with my headphones on and I can't see anything, and then that big nightmare comes out of nowhere and slams me. Like it always catches me off guard every time. And I really like it, and I love the Halloween aesthetic. I love the music. So I'd like to spend more time in there instead of farming Crucible,
Right.
for an hour and a half, then going into the Haunted Forest, only being able to open 5 chests. Now let's remember, you can only hold 25. So you're getting 2 per completion. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. That's 12 to 13 Crucible matches. Crucible matches at least last 10 minutes on average.
Unless
So-
you're running with the 6 stack and pub
Exactly.
stomping.
Exactly. So you're spending that much time. So let's just say you're spending an hour and a half in the Crucible. Then you can only open 5 chests in the forest. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And those are 15 minutes on average. But they can take longer because you're actually playing it, unless you're going to be like a lot of people are just going to sit there and wait. But let's just say you're playing it. So let's just say they're 20 minutes. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So then you're spending another hour. And then let's just say, because it's Destiny, you barely get any of the auto rifles to drop. And the ones you do get to drop suck. So that's like 2.5 hours of your day that you wasted.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be playing the Haunted Forest and just,
Well, I
like,
mean, for me,
thing.
it's not really a big thing because I'm gonna go play PvP anyways, right? Like I'm always in PvP, but I'm just looking at the system and I'm like, this is why the extra steps to play the event. Like, if people don't want to do, if people just like, okay, I've come back to like not do the same boring, grindy bullshit that I've been doing all season, for like the interference missions, for all the exotic quests, because it's basically the same, like go do all the other stuff instead of doing the actual thing. If people are just coming back like, to do this event and then they're being told, well, go play all this other shit that you don't like care about, that you're burnt out of, basically. It's why you're taking a break. I can see where people just be like, nah, I'm gonna go back and play Genshin Impact. I'm gonna go back to my waifu sim.
Yeah, so that's the thing that, like I said, like the event's fine. It's not perfect. It's fine. Like I still think Festival of the Lost is probably the strongest of the events. Like the Dawning has been hot and cold, no pun intended. But like the Festival of the Lost has always been pretty solid. But like it could be better. It's good, but it could always be better. And this is the thing that somebody said to me today. And they said, like, oh, you're a little bit too negative. Why can't you just enjoy it for what it is? And I'm like, well, if you love something, you want it to be better. You want to be able to call out its faults so that you can help it become better. So while I enjoy this event, I always see these little things that I'm like, well, if they would have shipped it like this, it would have been better.
Well, I mean, think about
this wouldn't have been a
how
problem.
much more incentive you'd have to play if you were like going in there and say, instead of putting the armor in the Eververse, right? You could get that armor to drop while going through and doing chests and stuff like that, or killing, potential drops from, mobs or whatever. And that stuff drops and you're like, okay, well, I want this helmet to have this certain role. I want this helmet or these gauntlets, instead of just being like ornaments, it's like actual armor drops. So you're going in and you're trying to, farm this armor instead of like farming an auto rifle we know is going to get nerfed in like a couple of weeks.
Well, I think the auto rifle's dropping as a season of arrivals, right? So that should be good for a year.
Well, no, it's like, isn't it a 600 rate of fire? And I figured they're gonna nerf the 600.
Oh yeah, they're probably gonna. Well, no. The horror story is, but the braid tech's a 450 or 350.
Okay.
That should be. I think those are gonna be fine. But yeah, what do you think, John?
What about stuff getting nerfed or about armor?
The armor and whatnot.
The armor, yeah, definitely. So Recaster it worked so well. So just implement that full time. Just if potentially, again, player choice, have it as an ornament if you want. If you want to just drop cash or bright dust on it, do that. But if you also want to focus on a role, get a specific abilities stats to use, then do that, because Recaster works so well, and I'm worried that they aren't going to use it in Beyond Light, because even today I realised I was missing a couple of triumphs for the title. So I just went to the Recaster, boom, 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 done. And it's like, how? And I'm not going to use the items because they're stats that I don't use, but it's just that easy just to go, I've invested all this time in it over the past, we're on 14, 15 weeks now this season.
Yeah.
And I can just, there we go, done. And that's my reward as somebody who's put that time in it. If I was only played 2 weeks of it, then I don't get that benefit because I've only invested 2 weeks of my time. But investing every single week into it, that should be your way of going, thank you very much, Bungie. I can relax and play my way.
Yeah. So that, it's a really fair point. And
I'm a little hot and cold on the recap. I like the idea. I think the investment into it was a little much, but maybe dial that back a bit.
In the right direction. In the right direction.
Same idea, just like a little less involved.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as the fucking Rasputin bunkers. Like, did anybody actually do those? No, I didn't.
It's painful. Oh my god, I don't know why. That's where I started to tune out.
I think I got to tier 2 on it. Sorry.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, that's the Rasputin Towers are where I started to tune out with the insane grind in Destiny. I mean, after I looked at being top 1% in hours in the game, and I'm not even a streamer, and then the Rasputin Tower grind that I aced for no reason.
Right.
I don't know why I did it. That's where I started to like balance out with other games, and I started to not go so hard on the game anymore.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
In the first couple weeks, you know, because then it burns you out. Because now I have nothing to do, except for I guess.
Oh yeah, I make content on it, and I'm still like, bro, dude, I gotta take a break, man. I gotta go play something else.
But the recaster is definitely like a step in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
But I'm with you, John. Bungie has a track record of having really cool things, and then they just scrap it for a while, for no reason. So that's definitely worrisome.
Speaking of that, that's where I'm going to be getting most of my ciphers from, I think, is Menagerie. So again, content that's made that's not been reutilized, and it's going away. Excuse me, it's going away. But yeah, Menagerie, I ran it 2 and a bit times this week, because I ended up joining one in progress to get my interference quest done, and I got a cipher each time. So I'm just like,
yeah, I love the Menagerie. I think that was one of those things they could have infinitely added to it, or like changed up the loot pool like all the time. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna like I don't know, change what these runes can give you, or add more runes or something, because the runes weren't taking up your inventory. They sat in their own little thing, which was way better than, what was it, the previous one where you had the oh god, what token thing was it? I don't remember. There was like some kind of token reward thing that you had to have. Or no, it was just tokens for planetary shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
The tokens that you turned in and shit. And it's
Stacks.
like those, the stacks and stacks and stacks just of bullshit. And you're like, I don't want all this.
Yeah.
I don't condense your currencies. But yeah, no, going into like the Menagerie, that's such a great piece of content, and it's infinitely replayable. They just had to keep adding to it. And it would make sense for Callus to like keep updating it, like narrative wise, because it's like it's all him watching a game basically. Yeah,
and John's been the champion of that. John's been forever talking about the Menagerie, and you should, And this is the thing, like, I don't think we're negative on the podcast. I think that we praise the things Bungie does well. We criticize the things they don't do well, but it's all because we want them
I would rather
to be
the
better.
Menagerie get updated more than Gambit.
The Menagerie's awesome. I love the Menagerie, and I wish it would get updated. And hopefully, with it being in the DCV, it comes back better than ever. But we'll see what happens. But before we get started, before we really get started, I just wanted to quickly, Joker, did you look at the TWAB from a while ago that showed the interactive map of Europa and whatnot?
Yeah.
All right. Did you have any quick thoughts on that?
I just hope it's not as much dead space as I think it's going to be.
Isn't that what we said,
like,
John?
Yeah.
Like, because look at, like, say something like Mars or whatever from Destiny 1. It's huge. Yep. It's huge. But it's like just barren hills and like pathways that go to like actual things, for like strikes or whatnot. But, and then like you see in like the concept art where there's like these ships frozen in ice, and there's these buildings and skyscrapers often in the background. And it's again kind of like the Mars thing where you couldn't go to any of that shit. It was there, like.
Yeah, and I think it's worse, like, because Joker, you always say, and everybody who knows Joker knows this. You always criticize Bungie for having fully rendered things in the background for no reason.
God,
and I think you make a great point, even if you didn't mean it, but you probably did. But that makes it worse, in my opinion, because you see these fully rendered buildings and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish I could go in there. Like in Halo, you didn't really worry about that because you're like, oh, it's a painting. It looks great. But it's painting. I'm not like looking at that going like, oh, I wish I could go there as Master Chief. But like on Destiny, especially on Mars and stuff, like you look at those things, you're in the EDZ. If anybody goes down to like the outskirts or whatever, and you look across the river and you see the fully rendered buildings over there, a whole nother town, you see that and you're like, oh, I wish I could go there, and it's fully rendered and everything. And that's a major mistake because that's just teasing people. Even if they don't mean to, they are. And that's what I'm worried about with Europa.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like, again, we need to cut content out of the game because the game's getting too big. It's unoptimized, yada, 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 yada. Okay. Did you know I think it's Wormhaven or whatever. It's one of the fucking Titan maps.
Yep.
If you get out, you can actually get under, and there's like this whole city down there. It's not
Yeah.
textured, but there's like no. This is like even not just like what you can see. This is like you break out of the map, you fall through it, you walk a bunch, and there's just this whole left-in area that was like there's like these huge statues, and they're
From
not
the story
textured, but you can
mission.
climb around them and shit like that.
Mhm.
It's just I'm like, why? I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. There's a lot of stuff that probably junk from like the development, or stuff that like maybe they were gonna do something with the DLC and they scrapped it. But like, why is it still in the game?
Yeah. Yeah. And Europa, me and John talked about this on the previous episode. Was it 2 or 3 episodes ago? And me and John talked about how Europa looks great, but like we don't know if there's going to be any underground areas or tunnels or anything. We don't know if that area with the big city.
Mm-hmm.
I expressed the concern that a lot of those buildings you wouldn't be able to go into, that a lot of them would be empty and nothing, and that's a big problem I have with Destiny is like they have these amazing looking locations that have nothing in them.
Oh, you know
And
what
that's
the
why I'm
worst
so
part's
salty.
going to be? You know what the worst part? Because you're going to see those buildings, and somebody is going to figure out how to like glitch through them,
Yeah.
and then you'll like walk through, and it's like there's a TV on the wall, there's a couch, and it's like there's trash in this corner, and you're like, why? This
Yeah.
isn't even a playable space.
Yeah.
Nani the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, there's the dam or whatever, that building, the bunker or whatever that's in the cliffside. Are we going to be able to go there? Or is that just for a strike or something? Like, I would like to be able to go there, patrols. I'd like to see what's in there. Like, Europa has what looks to be really cool stuff. But if there's nothing to do, I don't care. So, John, what do you think?
Yeah, we've covered it. It needs to be more there. Like some dead space when traveling between major locations is okay to a degree. Less now with them redoing the tech behind the game, like on Mars and stuff in D1. A lot of it would have been, even though we've loaded in, still getting everything ready for us to burst out.
Right.
So streaming all the textures and stuff. But now that's less excusable with what they're saying they're doing with the technology behind it. So, but even if it's just one major, what is it, 6, 7 locations? Even if there's only one major thing per location, and then there's small little buildings like you just nipping into, and there's a lost sector there, or there's a little cache there, or I don't know, there's a law thing to scan there. But just don't have it is that there's buildings that you can see in, you can literally see in them, but you can't enter them.
Yeah.
It just, it's an undiscovered, well, not undiscovered planet, or moon, but it's not been touched by us for ages. Let us rediscover Braytech and everything that's there, and
Well, like
let us
again,
explode. Go on.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Just to kind of add to that, like again, I've been playing the shit out of Genshin Impact, and it's like the world is like stuffed with shit. Like you're finding like a town, a village, you're finding an abandoned and everything tells a story too. It's like you find this abandoned store, or not store, but like shopping area district, kind of strip mall type thing, but like ye old medieval with carts and shit. There's still food there, and you can go and like get some of the food and whatnot. But then like you walk down the pathway a little bit, and you see why it's abandoned. You see that monsters came in and like fucked everything up, and you go in, you kill them, and you get loot and shit like that. You're always getting something, and there's always like something to do. If that and again, a game, there should be something to do, but like there's always something to go for. Like I noticed, if you want a material, if you want a specific thing, the game goes, go kill this boss and you'll get it. There's no like ifs, ands, buts. Now you'll need a lot of it. It tends, so you got to grind it out, and that's where the grindiness of the game comes from. And so that's like whatever. But like if you want something, there's a direct path, and then like going through the world, I find I don't fast travel through it. I'm like walking around, and I'm like, ooh, there's a chest there, there's a puzzle here that I can do to like unlock another chest and get rewards and loot, and like everything's just usable.
I mean, it's like Monster Hunter World, where like my little brother plays that. I don't really know much about that game, I'll be honest, but I like watching my brother play it. And like he will tell me, like I'll be like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm hunting this monster. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because that's where I get this material that I need. And I'm like, oh, if only Destiny had that. Like just a straight up, do this, so and so times to get what you need, this specific thing. We need that. But
Yeah,
also,
and if you
like, even in
combined it, and if you like, say you get the materials and you combined it,
Yeah.
and it still has that like random roll aspect,
Yeah,
where like, I mean, and we're not talking like go get like 25 bear asses or something. We're like get 3 or 4 of this item and then like
Yeah.
make this weapon or something. And if you still want to have the random roll aspect, fine, fair enough. But I think you could do again like the menagerie
Yeah.
really well. Yeah, you could just slot runes, right?
Yeah.
Or you could slot runes for I want a range masterwork, and you know what? I want a hand cannon. I don't care which hand cannon I pull. I just hand cannon with range masterwork, sniper with handling masterwork, whatever. Or you can get even more specific and like zero in on that. I think again, Bungie has done this really well. More of that, please.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
reinvent the wheel again.
Yeah. I mean, something that I always wish Destiny would do, and I don't mean to compare it to Division 2, but there is a thing in Division 2 that I wish Destiny would do, because I feel like Destiny would do it really well, is like in Division, nobody knows, but in Division there's like not strongholds, there's strongholds, but control points. And these control points are controlled by factions, and you can go to the control points, you call in allies to come and help you take it, and then you get like loot out of it. And I always wish that Destiny would utilize a similar style of system and do it in their own way.
And
Don't
we could
copy
do
it.
this with maybe the factions in the game. So it's like New Monarchy has taken over like this area of Europa, or Dead Orbit has taken over this part of Mars, or something like that.
Yeah. With NPCs, you call in the NPCs to help you. Like maybe you call in the drop ship and it drops off like some red jacks or something for the faction, And these are things that I wish they would do, because this would make the world feel more lived in. This would make it feel like a real world, because that's the thing. Destiny, unfortunately, I love this franchise, love it. However, I've always said that the world always suffers from feeling stale and just not lived in. And you look, I think it's better than Division. I still think Division sometimes does a better job of making their world feel real. And that's what just frustrates me, because like I appreciate everything that Bungie's workers, their workers are doing, because like they work really damn hard and it shows. But just sometimes I feel like the upper management isn't pushing to make these changes to like make people really feel invested in the world, because like we've been talking about factions for years and how they're not utilized correctly at all, and they've really never really been utilized correctly. And it's such a shame, because obviously these factions have a long-standing rivalry with each other, and it would be so cool to find a really engaging way for them to compete with each other in the world in real time, to really make players feel invested. And that would be cool in Europa, if there's like these locations in each location, like one location each location, and like you can go in there and call some NPCs to take it, and then you control it for like a set amount of time, and you get like loot from it, and that would be really cool. And like it doesn't have to be a copy of Division, but the same similar idea, and then Bungie could just roll with it however which way they think would be best for them. But like that's just a major issue for me, and that's why I'm still pissed about the EDZ and how I still feel really salty about it, because like it's such a beautiful location, but the way they described it when they were first interviewed about it was not the way that it came out, and the world just never, the region didn't feel lived in. There's no NPCs. Like, where are the NPCs in Destiny? There's no people or aliens. There's no one doing anything.
Well, Destiny is, and I mean, this is, thank God their shooting is wonderful. The runny, jumpy, climby, shooty stuff. But this is like you talk about. And again, I made a video. I was talking about this where I compared some aspects of Destiny to, say, Final Fantasy 14. Okay, now in Final Fantasy 14, you do a lot of the same fetch quest bullshit. I mean, it's an MMO, right? But like, you're out there in the world and you'll like stumble upon an NPC and they'll be like, "Hey, could you do this thing for me?" And they'll give you like this whole lore story, and you go and do it, and then you bring back the bare asses, and they thank you and yada yada yada. There's just this whole thing, and Destiny, that is boiled down into Destiny. It's condensed to its purest form of just being a bounty. You go, you pick up your bounty from the board, you go kill your 10 bear asses, you bring them back, and or you don't even bring them back, you just click it in the menu. Anybody else kind of miss, like, I know it's more convenient, but anybody else kind of miss actually going back to the tower to turn in bounties because it like made it seem like you were doing something with the world? Destiny is a bunch of game systems that are very obviously game systems. They're not trying to hide it anymore. I don't think they've ever really tried to hide it, and when they did, it was more cumbersome than it was worth. But it's that finessing of those systems to like trick the player into turning their brain off and like not thinking about them as game systems. It's like immersion, immersing them in the world and like the day to day and like what these characters are doing. That Destiny's really lacking. But you know what? Hey, at least the shooting's good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've said this game needs more cutscenes. Like when you turn in a bounty, you should be, let's say it's, I don't know, collect Vex, kill Vex. Then when you get back to the tower, you should go up to the bounty, the old Red Jack bounty guys, which would, you know, I miss those guys. But I would love to see a quick little, literally like a 6-second cutscene of your Guardian with like a bag full of Vex parts, and he just drops them on the table, and then he's like, you know, like the Red Jack goes like, you know, bounty collected, good job, Guardian, gives you like some credits or something, you know, credits, but glimmer, you know, like, and it's like a 6-second cutscene. It wouldn't take super long to do. But it adds so much. Yeah, you can skip it, but it adds so much. It's so little, but it adds so much to the world to make it feel real. You're like, yeah, I went and killed all those Vex, and here's the parts. Pay me my money, you know, or maybe I went and killed some Taken. Here's some Taken.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like we do these new events now, right? And there's like story and stuff like that. And you go up to a vendor, and instead of like having the vendor talk to you, like you go up to Asher or you go up to Zavala while doing like the Traveler's Chosen quest. And like, I mean, these people are like about to die, right?
Yeah.
And they just, here's a scroll of text.
You said that. Didn't you say that in your latest video? I'm pretty sure you said that. You said no more scroll of text. Cause
you just got this whole scroll of text on the side, and it's just like,
there's no emotion. Like, why do I care that Sloane's going to die if she doesn't say it? Like, I want a cutscene where she's like, maybe she's about to cry, but she's a Titan, so she's not going to. But she's like lamenting that we're moving on without her, but she's gonna stay behind because that's what Titans do.
I wonder what they're gonna do if they bring these places back though, and they've already killed these vendors off.
Yeah,
we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
So that's I guess that's where we boil it down. What do you think, John, about all this? What's your opinion on this?
So I do, until you mentioned handing bounties in physically, I'd forgotten about it. And I actually really do miss it because it was part of the gameplay loop. It was right, everybody back to the tower, hand your bounties in, pick up your heavy ammo synthesis and whatnot, and then we'll go again. Now it's, I've done menu button, spam. Oh, I've leveled up 2 levels. Go to your season pass, get your loot.
Yeah,
and it definitely is gameplay systems. So.
Yeah,
it was like we're gonna play these Crucible matches. All right, we're gonna then go to the tower, get our fucking Vanguard bounties, whatever, knock those out. And then you went to the tower between like doing activities. You could go take a piss, you could get some food, you know, grab a drink instead of like trying to do it or like. And it's one of those things because it's like, well, you can just do that now, right? But no, it's like if I'm like sitting here and I'm the one that's got to go take the piss or go make some food, like other people are just sitting there in orbit, you know, right now, as opposed to like the old system where you went back to the tower and like everybody's just hanging out, dance partying, you know. There was a lot of really cool, and you still go to the tower now, like whenever you load up for the first time. But there used to be memes all the time about tower interactions, right? Man, people would go and like hang out in the fucking hunter's den and play with the jukebox, or like fucking crouch walk in conga lines around the tower.
Jump on the fan.
Yeah, jump on the fans
above the Eververse and the Postmaster and stuff.
Yeah.
Get all the ghost shells and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's I was gonna say
more condensed tower too.
Yes, definitely. I was saying, well, they might bring it back that we go to the tower to do that kind of stuff, especially with next gen systems, because things all load quicker. Right now, you don't want to go to the tower to hand everything in because it's a slog, especially on console.
Well, again,
I think they say that they're adding in orbit bounties where you get So then that's even less reason to go to the tower. So
it really honestly pisses me off because, like, look, I understand why people want those features, but like, it's just that makes it just feel more like a game and not like a like a I don't want to say life. Yeah, I don't want to say lifestyle because it sounds lame, but like it just
It breaks
just
immersion.
makes it just makes it feel more like I'm playing a game. I'm not like in Destiny, you know, like I'm not invested, and that's something I just don't like because like it just nerfs the experience.
Well, even
You know?
like Halo, you go and you play like Halo 5 and you go into your lobby and you hit it up. It's like, the same matchmaking thing that they've always had. But like even in Halo, they try to like meld in that part of the world with like being part of the game. It's like you're loading up into a sim to like go Spartan train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes it feel like a real world. It makes sense. It has to make sense. I don't care if it's a game. It has to make sense. And so, that's just something that really annoys me. But before we move on to the next topic, John, just real quick, John, what's your opinion on the whole, like, bounty cutscene things and, like, the cutscenes with the vendors talking to you instead of just walls of text and shit?
So, in terms of handing bounties in, yes, that would be awesome. Even if it's literally the exact same cutscene, but all they do is they replace like the mesh and the wireframe and the texture of what you're handing in. So, it could literally be a sack and there'd be like a Vex like stalk sticking out, and then there could be one you're handing it in, and it's got like the Taken texture, so some swirly black crap coming out of it. You know, if it's a Cabal, so just that, just so it's that I'm doing something. Yeah. The wall of text stuff, that's just a bigger, more underlying problem, which could take that could probably potentially be an episode in itself. Personally, I always use an example, and I see people use her as an example all the time online. Is Hawthorne. Even now, she still talks about the Red War. She's not gone, oh, I miss Cade. She's not spoken about
pyramids.
Yeah, the pyramids. She's not. Eris is back. None of that.
Yeah.
And yes, right now COVID's going on, but that's this year. What about the previous 2 years?
Yeah.
Right now there's a lot of leeway given because cutscenes they won't be able to do them as easily because of voice casting and everything. But again, prior to February, March time, they could have been making these updates. Even if it's once a season, they don't need to update her every week.
Yeah.
But every season they could go. Like this season, it would have been, somebody I know's gone out to scavenge the ship that crashed.
Yeah.
Anything like that, and that's what breaks the immersion for me, because you go in, you pick up the bounties offer, and you're like, yeah, I know you said the same thing now for 200 and odd weeks.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because Bungie are masters of detail, but they also then they create new detail. They don't reinforce existing detail.
Yeah.
Just like with Menagerie, they could be updating that expansionally or seasonally, or Gambit. They could again every season, every expansion, but they don't. So
yeah, and that's really frustrating because like Hawthorne could have been like, oh, I've only heard of these in the stories that they used to tell, and when I was out in the wild, I never thought they were real, and that's the thing, like these vendors don't talk about anything that's happening right now. And I mean, like, this is something we talked about with freaking Lord Saladin for years now, where he just forgot about us. And that's the thing with all the vendors and all the NPCs and everything, where, like you said, Bungie's the masters of detail, except for existing details. They only add new details. And you're completely right. And it's a major problem because, like, Hawthorne, part of the reason people can't stand her is because she was never updated. So she just says the same shit over and over and over again. You're really over it.
Big NPC. Well, she was a big NPC during the Red War. Her and can't remember the guy's name now from EDZ.
Devrim K.
Yeah, they were massive, and you're like, oh, these guys, if they had introduced another one, they could have been the rivals to the Vanguard.
Yeah,
they could have held the same purpose but outside of the tower.
And then it never got realized.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just like,
You remember when the farm was a thing? Like they made this whole big like reveal of the farm and like made a big deal about it. And then
There's
it was
no
like
tower anymore. Ooh, we'll all go to the farm.
it was like so
Switch.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like
It's sad because I actually liked the aesthetic of the farm. I really did. And then like I thought they would expand it, and then they were just like, peace. Forget
would've been
about
great,
that.
You know,
I would have
you
loved it.
You know, it starts off and then first mini expansion, you expand on it. You know, you bring some tech back or whatnot. Second one, all right, nice one. So you know, Anna Bray's given us something to expand and turn
That's
stuff
an
into.
airfield, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause it has that huge field. It could have been turned into like an airfield and shit. But like, yeah, and you know, I still hold on to my idea that you blow up the tower. Maybe they blow up the last city, and then everyone moves into a space station, like the original Destiny idea was. I'm still holding on to hope for that. But, yeah, you know, that's a major problem, and I definitely think next episode we should devote a lot of next episode to those kind of things, like you know, the lack of like immersion in the game. I think that should be a good topic. But
let's see what they launch with Beyond Light. You know, they may, for all we know, everything we're saying now, they've
would love
we've
to
got
be
you,
wrong.
don't we?
yeah, no, I'd love to be wrong. Exactly.
Got you, go Joker, just for you, mate. We've got you. So,
just for you. But let's move on to the TWAB. So TWAB, boo, did I scare you? Probably not. But hey, it's Festival of the Lost. Things are feeling a bit spookier than usual. Blah, 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 blah. Festival of the Lost is happening. Cool. So Tuesday they talk about kicking out the Festival of the Lost, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, that's great and all. So we've already talked about the Festival of the Lost. Cool. Is what it is. So there was recently a trailer that released like visuals and descriptions of new exotics coming in Beyond Light. So for example, for those of you who don't know, no time to explain, my OG baby exotic pulse rifle, it's a little bit different now. Precision hits and hits against enemies affected by stasis will return to the mag. Stack this effect to summon a portal which will fire bullets from an alternate timeline of the weapon. Now, this weapon, yeah, right. This will only be available to those of us who've pre-ordered Beyond Light. Everyone else will only be able to get it after season 12, which I think is fair. I mean, it's not like it's going to be an OP exotic. So, I think it's fair.
You muted Joker.
I did? No, I didn't.
No, Joker.
No. Okay, because it's not just a pre-order of Beyond Light. It's the pre-order of the collector's edition of Beyond Light.
Oh, yeah.
No. Beyond. Yeah. No. Available with Beyond Light Plus Season, Digital Deluxe, and Collector's Edition.
Yeah, that's.
You can't have the base game. It's got to be tier 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
You got to be Beyond Light Plus the season. Yeah.
And if you're getting it on Game Pass, like myself, I'm screwed. I don't get it, which is frustrating as hell because they've put it into Game Pass and gone, this is massive marketing, look at us. And then they've gone, by the way, you don't get that. Imagine if that with Base of Spades, if Forsaken had been on Game Pass when it launched and they went, oh, by the way, you can't get that. You've got to wait till the next season.
This is going to be like, actually kind of worse because Cold Heart, right? You had, Cold Heart was a pre-order bonus that was like timed. That was like
a few weeks.
I thought it was like the whole until the first DLC.
Was it? Oh,
it was for quite a while actually. Yeah.
I don't remember the exact amount of time, but it was a minute. But at least then that was just like even from the base game to the collector's edition. Yeah, this is like you have to buy our collector's edition or our season pass plus edition. Now, if it's part of the fucking pass, you know, the whatever, because you know how all the passes have weapons and shit.
Yeah.
Now, if it's part of that and they're just not saying it, then fine, fair enough, whatever. But if it's not, then like it makes even less sense.
Yeah, I hope it is. I hope it's the weapon of that season, because if not, then we're going to have 2 exotics, because you're going to have No Time to Explain, and then you're going to have the season pass weapon. So it makes sense for it to be that, because I'm going to be dropping the money on that anyway, because you know it's a foregone conclusion. But we're not buying the physical game, or we're not physically buying the game because we've got next gen systems to get. So because it's coming out on Game Pass, we're like, great, that saved us £40 each, £100 or whatever combined. Because we're then, we'll drop the money and we'll get it on PC as well, so we'll double dip. But then it's coming to Game Pass on PC next year, so there's no point us spending. We might as well hold off 3 months or so and get it on Game Pass twice. But then if we're being penalised, it's It's frustrating. It really is, because it's no time to explain, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a brand new exotic that is overpowered and it will get nerfed in a season. It's no time to explain. So,
yeah, and I think it's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Yeah, that's definitely something that is gonna be debated about for quite a while. But the perk of the weapon has changed. We can definitely agree on that. It used to be landing precision hits would reload the weapon, or it would return them to the mag.
Yeah, it's basically like
four times the charm, basically.
Yeah, I would say fourth clip, but yeah, 4 times the charm. Yeah.
I'm really happy that they're changing. This perk sounds really good. I know people were pissed that it's going to be only affected by stasis, but I mean,
they want to force you down that channel, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, most of us are going to be using stasis pretty much all season. So, I would anticipate maybe this perk gets edited after the season. But who knows?
What, all damage if they're
affected
by a burn,
like abilities.
Yeah,
I would assume. But as it stands, cool perk, really cool perk. The lore is awesome for it. The gun looks different, slightly different. It looks really nice. The ornament makes frozen, which is really cool. But I think overall, I think we can all agree that cool.
Yeah,
it's cool, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. I think it's definitely pretty dang cool.
100%.
So we'll move on to the next one.
Ooh, actually, the ornament. I want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe look at your Exo Stranger statue.
Yeah.
But if you look on the back of it and you look at the one that's, it's the same one that's in the marketing, and that one has a scope, where the other one doesn't.
Wait, hold on a second. Then
look at it.
Shit.
Yeah, there's no scope on this, is there?
Beyond Light Collector's Edition.
So is this a case of the ornament's better with or without? Who knows?
I believe the ornament. Okay, wait. I figured it out. Makes sense. I got it. Okay, the ornament is the scope version. The gun turns frozen when the perk is activated. Figured it out. That's not guaranteed, guys, but I think that's what it is. Because I remember in the art, if you go into the game, are you logged into Destiny actually right now?
Me? No.
What were you? Are you logged in?
No, I've come out. I came off when we started.
Okay. I think if you click on Beyond Light in the game, I believe it shows you the pre-order bonuses. And if you look at the No Time to Explain, it shows that you get the scoped version, because that's the ornament version. Because I remember in the trailer, that's the version she has. And
right.
I don't have the statue in front of me, but I think you're right. Yeah, it's the scoped version, right? So, yeah, that's the ornamented version, and it turns frozen, like in the trailer, when the perk is activated.
Looks awesome as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, it looks... All of the versions look so damn cool. I mean, it's also one of the coolest looking guns I've ever seen in Destiny, because it looks sci-fi. It looks futuristic. Like, it looks like a gun from the future. And, like, I love how, like, it would have that goop that would come out of the front. I love that. So cool.
The electric pulsing.
Yeah. I wonder if you're going to be able to shoot around corners with it. So, like, if you're at a corner in Crucible and that procs, because it doesn't spawn on you, does it? It seems to spawn.
No, it's like an arc soul.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. That and running arc soul. You just be running around.
That's interesting. That is interesting. Well,
because stasis could be on it from somebody else, so you wouldn't need to be stasis, would you?
Oh yeah. Or you can get an arc buddy from another like warlock.
Yeah.
Because you can isn't there you can stand in their rift and you get an arc buddy? Yeah. Oh, Bungie's gonna have to do some thinking about that.
Oh god damn.
God, we gave him that idea. Shit.
Optimal DPS.
Listeners,
and then I mean, because real talk, like pulse rifles are like low tier, like not low tier, like low key meta. Like nobody uses them, but like you get a pulse rifle without a scope, like No Time to Explain looks like it's not going to have, or not necessarily a scope. It'll probably have like a hollow scope that comes up, kind of like the old one, like the Stranger's rifle did. And so with that, like really cool, clean sight. And then now you've got like a probably if it's the same class it was, it'd be a Redrick, so it's a 2-burst. So you got this 2-burst going on, then you got this potential like Arc Soul, Arc Buddy thing going on. Oof.
And if you're running
this is
really
gonna
high
be disgusting.
If you're running really high grenades and ability, then you're gonna be proccing.
Which I do.
All the time.
I'm always just over 100 on grenades, at like 100, 101, 105. So
Yeah.
arc on one shoulder, that on the other.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that it's definitely cool as hell.
I have to go and lie down until November 10th now.
Yeah, right. So the next one was the exotic sniper rifle Cloud Strike. Precision final blows will generate lightning bolts at the target location. Rapid precision shots will summon an entire storm at the point of impact, which kind of sounds like Thunderlord sniper. Yeah. Looks cool. Yeah. So I guess we'll start with that. The look is dope. Like it's got like a rock as like the barrel.
Yeah, it's got like this like ice scythe fishhook thing going through it.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely looks really goddamn cool. And I mean, obviously it's a trailer, so like all the guys were lined up perfectly for him to get a great kill. But like,
oh god, or like with the throwing knife, it like bounced off 3 walls and like planted in a dude's face. I was like, yeah, okay,
that happening.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Definitely cool looking. The perk, interesting. It's definitely interesting, and I can see it being really meta on like an Arcburn Nightfall to like get rid of ads really quickly. I don't know if it's gonna. I mean, given that it's a sniper rifle, that's nice because then you don't have to run like the bow. You don't have to run that arc bow.
Trinity Ghoul.
Then you wouldn't have to run that because I fucking hate bows. But like, you wouldn't have to run that, so that'd be cool.
Unless they make you run bows because that's what the burn thing is. The stagger, whatever. Fucking, I hate those things.
Do you think? What do you think the clip's going to be on it? Size of it?
4 shots.
Yeah, 4 sounds about right.
I think 4.
Yeah, because anything above that and the rapid precision, you're just going to be raining into it all the time. So.
Yeah.
So overall, we all think it looks really, really cool. Yeah. It sounds interesting. So, but it's something that I want to see in practice first. I'm not a big sniper guy, but
one thing, and it goes across all the exotics is maybe apart from the sword is they've not said if any of them are going to have built-in champion mechanics. But you'd like to think that they would, because that's something that they should have nowadays.
I'm so done with champion mechanics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing I'm worried about. So. That's what I'm worried about because like I love that we can have this season the unstoppable pulse rifle on your gauntlets. I really hope they keep that next season somehow because I want to use No Time to Explain in pinnacle content just because like that was my baby and like I want to be able to use it on champions and not be like, oh fuck, I gotta run like Ariana's Vow, which I like Ariana's Vow, but it's like. But I want to use No Time to Explain. And like, don't.
Exactly. No, it'll be unstoppable bow again.
Yeah, right? Oh God, fuck no! I hate bows. But it's like, but that's the thing. Like they bring in these new exotics that are like primaries, and then they don't allow them to like be used against champions. And it's like, okay, so you teased us and got us all excited for these, but we can't even use them in pinnacle content. Like that's what's frustrating. So we'll see. So
maybe we'll probably come on to it later in TWAB about the mod modifications that the changes that they're doing. So potentially you could take the artifact of the season and surely put that in one of these mod slots. So if you've got a raid item or an exotic, there's a new default mod slot or whatever they've called it. You could pop it in there. So even if it's not meant to be there, if you've got this bit of gear, then you can force it in.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Did that. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Skip it ahead.
The next one is the sword that caught everyone by surprise.
I love it.
A mortal blade, a stalwart shield. Block with the lament to rev the blade, then shred through shielded enemies. At its peak, damaging an enemy will heal the wielder. Basically, Gears of War chainsaw sword. Like, badass fucking Final Fantasy looking sword. And it can be used against barrier champions. So awesome.
Oh, dude, it's just a Warhammer 40k chainsword, dude. Like...
Yeah, right. Fantastic Space Marine sword. Looks so cool.
It does look good.
I think we can all agree it looks cool and it sounds awesome.
It just means I have to block now because I don't block. I just run in and just hit everything. So I'm not actually going to block. Hopefully it's got a good animation on it as well because for me that's a big thing with swords is pretty much all of them apart from this season it's just been or slash upwards, whereas now obviously you're whirlwinding. So I'd like that one to have a good animation.
I would really hope the lament is like part of an exotic quest because I could feel like if they really do a good exotic quest, like that would be a perfect weapon for a really good long exotic quest. because that would feel like a worthy reward
Yeah.
for a long quest. That thing looks awesome. I mean,
It does.
but I don't think anybody can disagree. That looks fucking awesome.
Ornament
I
on
don't
that
know
would
what
be
burn it
interesting.
is though. Don't know what burn it is.
Well, it should be void or
Yeah, right.
stasis.
I heard Bife say solar swords are back, so maybe it's solar.
Maybe.
I don't know why he said that. I didn't bother looking, but the final weapon is Salvation's Grip, exotic grenade launcher. Redemption is within your grasp. Each fired projectile will create stasis crystals that will freeze nearby targets, charged to increase the amount of crystals created in the freeze radius. We saw Titan shooting it, freezing things in front, and then jumping forward and slamming them. Cool. A lot of people have speculated it might be the raid exotic. It's definitely the one I think it's cool.
It looked very techish, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, I don't see myself using it that much as a hunter. I think that's definitely something perfectly made for Titans. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool, and the perk sounds cool. I mean, it looked cool. I gotta say, overall, I think all 4 exotic weapons are definitely really, really cool, and I'm definitely excited for all of them. I wasn't really disappointed with any of them. I was a little surprised about the sniper rifle, and I was definitely surprised by the sword. But yeah, I think they're cool. John, what do you think of them?
Sorry, yawning. Not at you. It's because it's
No, you're
2:30 in the morning. No, yeah, 100%. So no time to explain when you was coming. So excited by it, but not. I want it to be available for the season pass at least. But you know, we've gone over that. Sniper rifle, yes, I like it because it looks like it's I can't think of the actual word for it, but like a weather stick. So
Yeah.
you would have slammed it in the ground and it would have kept you safe from lightning strikes. That's what it looks like. Which is like they've taken that and then gone and slapped a barrel and a scope and stuff on it. Sword reminds me of Transistor. Don't know if anybody's played Transistor from the guys who made Bastion.
Yep.
It reminds me of that when I saw it. And the grenade launcher, I don't know. We don't know how stasis is going to play and how broken it's going to make the game right now. So anything that is purely stasis, I'm just a bit like, is everybody going to run stasis because it's that powerful?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I still hold on to, and I'm a little like less into this right now because I don't know if the Titan effect on him when he used the gauntlets, the exotic gauntlets, was whether it was because he had stasis equipped it as his subclass, or if it was because it's just ice gauntlets and it was doing a stasis thing.
Yeah.
You know? But the other ones, if you looked at the other classes, all their stuff was going to either like neutral exotics or it was like very specific, like solar or throwing knives, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still of the mindset that maybe they'll balance it out by not allowing these new subclasses to use exotics, and they'll be like, yeah, that's how we balance it.
Yeah, interesting.
Because I mean, like you look at their subclass stuff, like what were the artifacts that they get in the subclass? Those are already exotic effects.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually hope you're not right with that because I really want to use these gauntlets.
Yeah. But I mean, we're talking major power creep at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I hope you are, but you're not wrong in why you're saying it. So
yeah, the logic, train of logic makes sense.
The exotic armor, Icefall Mantle, Titan gauntlets stand tall against the oncoming hordes with this reinforced armor that replaces barricade with overshield, absorbing damage from incoming fire. And then the Twitterverse went fucking crazy about these. They were like, if Titans are already overpowered enough in the Crucible, this is going to be interesting. I don't care if it makes Titans overpowered in the Crucible. I really don't care. I just play it to have fun.
It looks like there's one hell of a wind-up animation for it.
Oh, definitely. Boom. Boom. That's definitely something where you can see that, and if you're quick, you can kill him. If it's that.
Yeah,
slow.
I hope it's like you got to go through the entire animation for the overshield to proc, not like, you know.
Or even if one arm's down, you get 30-40%.
Yeah.
And then it takes both of them to thingy because if not, they are literally dead in the water. If anybody can aim, or they've got anything big.
Well, maybe that's the balance, though.
Yeah, could be.
I hope it's slow.
It definitely looks like a Spartan now. Obviously, Titans always looked a bit like a Spartan, but you got to think somebody is gonna, maybe even Joker will do it. They'll do a video where they just replace the sound file with the Halo overshield.
Ha,
Right.
that would be
Perfect.
cool. I love that noise.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the picture as well looks like a Spartan to me. That's what a
Yeah.
Spartan would dress like if they're going to the Arctic. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks cool. I hope it's slow because then at least it balances it out. But it's definitely really cool. And I mean, you know, it instead of using your fucking barricade, it forces you to actually think and use your ability correctly. So it's interesting.
no more baiting people through barricades now, though, because
Yeah,
when I do play another class, it's more time that I play, and I'm just there, I just block it down. People
Yeah.
still run through it, and then you just go boop. It's like free kill, thank you. So
and then
I just shoulder charge everything.
Oh, we know you do. And then there's the other one is a Titan helmet. Precious scars. Prove your strength even when coming back from the brink. Upon revives, the Titan gains an overshield aura that protects the wearer and nearby allies. I mean, I think it looks really cool. Looks
Trials all
really
rigged.
cool, yeah. It's definitely a Crucible helmet. Like, I can see where it'd be useful in like Pinnacle content, like Nightfalls or something, but that's definitely a PvP exotic. Definitely Trials. But it definitely looks really damn cool. I can see it being really useful in like dungeons, especially Prophecy near the end. But it definitely looks really damn cool. At first, I thought it was a Warlock exotic when I saw it in the trailer, and I had to rewatch it to see that it was a Titan. But it definitely creeped me out when I saw it, and I like that it creeped me out. Because I said this to Joker. I believe I said this to Joker, or maybe I said it to Jack. No, I said it to John, maybe. I don't remember. I said I like it. I said I like it when exotics are ugly and creepy. I like it.
This looks like is that the one that looks like somebody took their like china and then like smashed it apart and like tried to super glue it back
like
together?
Kylo Ren.
It's the one with the bullet holes that are the eye holes and stuff.
Yeah.
See that they've been shot in those places. There's
really
one in the middle of the forehead as well. It's like they've obviously been headshot at some point.
I really, really dig it. I really, really like the look of it. It's super cool.
Good.
Next is Mask of Bacchus. Don the mask to replace the hunter's dodge ability with a longer range shift ability that also temporarily cloaks the wearer during use. I think this is the coolest looking exotic.
Looks like a Scarecrow mask, doesn't it? From Arkham.
And he was my favorite in the Arkham games. I loved his mask. I loved his mask in the newer Nolan movies. So that definitely gives up those vibes. Like I said, I love ugly, creepy exotics, and this is the king of them all. As a hunter main, I love it. I'm probably not going to take it off because I like that it's a neutral exotic. I like that I can see where it could be OP, but I'm also a hunter who really misses being able to blink. So it's definitely.
I wonder if that changes the cooldown.
Me too. I wonder that. I definitely really wonder.
Because hunters already have like insane blink or dodge regen.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is like one of those things. Okay, you wear this, but like with the Titan, you're gonna have this animation, or there's gonna be some other kind of trade-off.
Yeah.
Because that's how you. I mean, that is how you balance things without like nerfing it or making it weak. You go, okay, you get this really cool ability, but there's gonna be some wind up, or it's gonna take longer to charge, stuff like that. So like when you get it, you got it, and you can use it once, and it's gonna be cool. But now you're on cooldown for like 30 seconds to a minute. You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. What do you think, John?
Two things on it. One is so cooldown wise but is it going to give a tell? So is it going to be one of those things where you blink and you don't know if they've gone left, right, back or front, or are they going to go a direction and then go invisible? Because if there's no tell on where they've gone, that is going to be insane in Crucible because you're going to be tracking them and then they've just disappeared. And it's going to be great to play as, but play against won't be good. But
I assume it'll be momentum based, like dodges, like where you're going.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, so if you see a little trail, a slight trail to go off to the side. And again, I'm not down on Hunter exotics massively, but is it an exotic that reloads your dodge, which then you do something else and that reloads something else and then reloads your dodge?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I would say because I can't remember if it was an exotic or an ability. If it was an ability, you could just continue to just blink, couldn't you? Because when I do play whatever I've got on my hunter, I will.
Yeah, I think
dodge,
the Arc Hunter
throw
has something like that in their kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
which
that's an
is
ability.
crazy fun to play as. But
Yeah.
yeah, if it's an exotic, then that's okay because you can't have both of them equipped. But
Yeah.
I was just
definitely.
thinking,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
insane.
I think it's a fair point. And like, yeah, I'm a hunter, man, and I can understand where it would be OP, but really
Still
excited
fun,
for
though.
it. I mean,
Yeah,
you
fun
know,
to
it's
play.
definitely gonna be really damn cool. Just gives off this super cool vibe. Really love it. I definitely think this will be my new favorite exotic, and I probably will never take it off because it just looks so goddamn cool. Plus 6 coyotes, ugly, and I can finally replace it. Next one is exotic gauntlets for hunter. Arthritis embrace. Arthritis embrace. That's what it's going to
Embrace the arthritis.
The hunter's weighted knife gains a second ricochet, rapid precision hits, gain a damage bonus, and can temporarily stagger enemies. As a hunter main, as the resident hunter main, I don't give two shits about this one. I really don't. I don't.
I
really
think there's gonna be some really sick, throwing
definitely.
knife, who was it? I think it was like Holtzman or whatever. Like way back in the day, he had this montage or whatever where he was like running around with Hawkmoon and throwing knifing people and shit like that.
Yeah.
I just see like people doing that because
Movie of the
we
week
didn't see
things.
Hawkmoon, by the way.
No, we didn't.
Maybe that's the
probably
season.
saving that for
exotic.
last. Yeah, right. Well, that'd be disappointing, but yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, we don't want to give it to us.
Yeah, I mean, this reeks of movie of the week type thing, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I'm probably never going to use it because I never use throwing knife, and I don't like. And everybody who knows me knows that I don't like gauntlets if I can't see them in the first person. So I'm never going to use these. I think they're cool. Don't get me wrong. I think they're cool, and they look cool, but you can't see them in first person. So fuck that. But yeah, I'm never going to use them. But it's definitely cool.
Do you think the stagger on them will proc stagger, champion stagger? Because if so, you might be forced to use it.
Just throwing knife,
I still
already stagger.
I still won't use it. I'd still rather use Night Stalker and fucking hit them with a grenade.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
yeah,
I mean, it looks cool, but I never use throwing knife, so I don't really care. But I can see why other hunters would like it. I'm not shitting on it. It's just that doesn't work for me. But
right,
not
your thing.
Yeah,
I feel
it's cool.
I feel you, big dog, on your wolf.
Warlock, Dawn Chorus.
Okay, skip.
Feel that sweet burn. The
Next.
Warlock's Daybreak projectiles deal extra damage and cause enemies to burn on contact. Gain melee energy each time a burn damages a target. Really cool looking. Really cool looking. You look like a fucking
bug eyes.
Yeah, you look like a fly.
It's Firefly from fucking Batman.
Yeah, there
That's what
you
it looks
go.
like.
It looks really fucking cool. Like in the trailer, it looked really cool. I mean, let's be fair. I think we can all agree that all the exotics that were revealed look awesome.
Yeah, the art team's on fire.
If you're a Dawnblade, this is for you. This is really interesting if you're a Dawnblade main. Just makes it better. It's just a Dawnblade on steroids. That's really what it is.
To the 4 Dawnblade players I've ran into in the past 5 weeks, yeah, they'll love it.
Yeah, and especially look, the extra damage and burn on contact is cool, but I think the melee energy.
That's a PvE though. That's because
100%.
You get hit by a Dawnblade in PvP, you're dead.
Yeah. But definitely, I think the slept on perk is the gain melee energy each time a burn damages a target. I mean, I can see that being crazy in PvE where you just
you laying into a boss or something after that. Yeah. You just because you can still melee while you're throwing swords. You time that right, you start max DPSing.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, unless you go against an ogre and then you just throw it away.
Fucked.
Yeah.
As the resident warlock main, John, what's your opinion on this?
Next.
Okay, cool. Next.
The energy for melee is good. Higher end PV content definitely, because again, you just throw them down.
He's just
splashes on different enemies.
Gauntlets.
Yeah, and you just
and it looks cool. But necrotic grip, warlock exotic gauntlets, a deadly caress compounded. Melee attacks corrupt enemies with increasing damage over time. Defeating a corrupted combatant spreads the corruption to nearby targets and restores melee energy. So thorn locks are about to become a thing.
I like that thorn lock. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Have you seen? So in the video, it was awesome because he just runs into somebody and punches them.
Yeah.
Because weirdly, you can't like one shot a red bar with a gun, but you can melee them to death in one hit. So you just run in it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cloud goes and it's like.
Yeah, and I'm just all for that. Absolutely, give that to me.
And it looks really cool.
That plus arc, buddy, plus no time to explain. Oh my God. you just don't do anything. Just stand still like that and just go.
You have a stasis, and if you have me running stasis next to you, then you're good.
Warlocks have become the class where it's like the game. I'm just autoplay. I'm here to pick up loot and move forward.
We can also see the warlock has a backpack on with rope and a blanket.
Yeah, I think lots of them have got the armor, haven't they?
Confirmed that we are sponsored by the North Face in Destiny 2. So. But definitely really, really cool. Actually, it reminds me of the new gear set in Division called Eclipse Protocol. It's literally the same thing. Defeating a corrupted combatant spreads the corruption to nearby targets. That's exactly what the gear set does. You hit somebody with a sticky bomb and it lights them on fire, kills them, spreads to everyone, kills them, spreads to everyone. And if it kills someone, it spreads it and then it lasts longer. So like this thing is
bomb,
cool.
Mage
Exactly.
in World of Warcraft is a similar thing, yeah.
And then if you scroll down, cool new gear, discover and collect new weapons, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's all this gear down here that you can see. So unfortunately, we can see that there's a bow from the planet Europa. Unfortunately. There's a shotgun, auto rifle, pulse rifle, sidearm, machine gun, rocket launcher, scout rifle. There's probably a hand cannon, but of course they're not going to show us. I would love for there to be a fucking hand cannon. But yeah, unfortunately, listeners, there is a freaking bow on Europa. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I tried to tell Bungie not to do it, but they didn't listen. So, yeah.
You've got no time to explain as well.
Those bastards. If you scroll down to additions, this is where I was correct. Joker was correct, which means I was correct, which means Joker was correct. If you click on Deluxe, it shows the frozen version of No Time to Explain. But if you click on Season, that's the ornament with the scope, and then it has the fucking, the catalyst, which makes No Time to Explain shoot faster or something. And then there's the collector's edition, which I don't really care about. And then there's the statue, which I have.
Yeah, I got that statue too.
Love that thing. But yeah, so the new exotics look pretty freaking cool. They sound really cool. Definitely excited. I know some people were kind of pissed that Bungie revealed so much, but I think they kind of had to because a lot of people, us included, we're talking a lot of shit about Beyond Light and how we don't think it's really going to live up to the price tag. So I can understand where the marketing department probably felt like we need to get this out there. We need to get people excited for this. We really need to last minute get people going, talking. So yeah, maybe they revealed a little bit too much, but I think they kind of had to.
I don't think they have. I think they are really where we were. Probably the last podcast we did before I moved, when we really got into the worth of it. I think it's when Joker was on as well, and we were like, they aren't showing anything. What is there's only X, Y, and Z that's available. Because I know we have gone over it a few times. This is stuff I would have been expecting middle of August. Granted, they had to delay it all because the game's delayed, but still, this hype we're feeling now, we have not felt for the past 3 or 4 podcasts. It's been, new expansion, yay! Oh, a map, yay! But now it's like, even the gauntlets, the pulse rifle, we're like, oh my god! And all it is two items.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
it's where's that been every other week? It's just not been there. So I am excited that it's there. And judging from Twitter, Damage and stuff was like, that there's going to be more. We're going to be going into more stuff each week, more sandbox type stuff and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be good.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more interested about the sandbox than because, okay, look, we're going to burn through this content in, a weekend. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just
we're used to that.
Destiny is a shooter. as opposed to like say something like again, Genshin Impact or whatever, where like you're running around, you have these like things that you have to do and all these other quests, and it takes time to get around and do things. Destiny's a shooter, it's very easy to not only get around locations, but it's easy to melt things,
Yeah.
right?
Or freeze things.
Or freeze things now. And so like we're gonna get through this content pretty quickly. The only thing that's gonna probably stop us from like beating the end game, or average people from beating the end game, people who don't run 3 characters and like do every pinnacle the second they can do it, or have like a vault full of stuff ready to like turn in. The only thing that's gonna like stop them is the arbitrary level gate, right?
Yeah.
And so I do think that like what they've shown off is like cool, it's interesting. But I'm more interested in like what's the replay factor?
Yep.
What's the am I gonna play the raid once and like get sick of it and not want to do it again because it's either too mechanically heavy or it's like the newest one, Garden of Salvation. I really liked a lot of it, except the tether mechanic was fucking, it just worked or it didn't work.
Yeah.
A lot of times, depending on your connection. And so you have, what's the replayability? What's the one activity that they're going to have as part of the season or whatever that's going to be the Horde Mode 5.0? What's the sandbox changes? Because the sandbox changes, whatever's changed, that's probably what we got for 6 months to a year.
Yep.
That's what I'm more worried about, because like the story will beat that in like 3 to 4 hours and never play it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, the replayability is a big factor here, and I think a lot of that's going to have to do with how fleshed out Europa is to hook people and keep them there.
Well, I mean, even that, like, look at just any location, like the EDZ or whatever. Do you go and like do patrols just randomly? No.
Not
do
anymore.
you worry about the fucking weekly whatever? No.
Yeah. Not anymore.
So like, do you go to Devrim and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do your bounties today? No. So like, the planet is like cool when it first comes out, and that's gonna be like cool and hyped, and everybody's gonna want to do everything. But that newness is gonna wear off. It's all about what's replayable, what is the end game, what are the sandbox balance passes, how does this affect PvP?
Yeah. So we're coming up on an hour and a half soon. So let's try to skip through some of this. Burn Bright New Light. I'll skip some of this. Blah 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 blah. Okay.
Actually, hold on. I got something I want to tell you.
Sure.
So if you look at the guy, he's wearing the hunter there. He's got the kebab stop.
Young Ahamkara's spine.
He's got Young Ahamkara's spine. If you look at his other pauldron, okay, and you zoom in, you can see the double crow emblem on it.
John, what did I say to you before we start? What did I say to you? I said, what do you think? Maybe that's Aldrin under a different name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he wouldn't know his name was Aldrin himself, would he? So
even if he did, he would change it. And notice, he's actually the only planetary vendor with a helmet, which goes into Aldrin's story about like he doesn't take his helmet off because like when Guardians meet him, they're like have these violent reactions to him.
Do you think he'll muffle his voice?
I don't think a lot of people will know Aldrin's voice. Like realistically, like how many Guardians actually dealt with Aldrin. But I think it's going to be a case of like they would know what he looked like, but they may not know what he sounded like.
Yeah, I definitely.
His helmet's probably got a synthesizer built into it anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting Leia vibes when she rescues Han, and her voice is all like, "Somebody who loves you."
Oh, they might do with if you remember in the original trailer, Aldrin had like a weird voice. Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, when he was the Crow, that'd be really cool. Definitely, Shah Han's probably smarter because if they called him the Crow, everyone would be like, "Really?" Everybody would be like, "Oh, well, then we know who it is."
So
unless that's just a name right now, watch it be like some acronym or something, like it's Crow in like some different language.
Yeah.
Reading it again, a thing that didn't stand out to me until now was that he's there with his fire team. So imagine if he's there, like, so he's there with his fire team and we don't see them, but they come over comms and they call him Crow. They're like, Crow, where are you? Because they've got nicknames or call signs. The internet would just explode. Even though we're all like, we're pretty sure that's him. To hear them call him Crow, it'd literally be, you best be recording yourself at the time because it's going to be meme worthy. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But it also means then that he's not living in a box or whatever. Yeah, in a container. He's got a fire team. So at some point he has made contact again with the tower. So
yeah. So
we'll
basically
see.
They say that
or because remember, there's a lot of guardians that aren't, especially hunters, that just don't really like the tower and like hanging out there.
They're not Vanguard affiliated.
I hate it.
I mean, you got all the like the shadows and shit like that aren't part of the tower, and they do their own thing. So this could also be something like that, where he's just not affiliated with the tower.
True.
So basically, they say that New Light's getting changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it reads like we've got the whole Cosmodrome to go through.
Yep.
That experience, which is insane because I thought the Cosmodrome was coming post this season.
No,
but it reads that because that is massive because we're all like, oh, we've only got Europa. Yeah. But if we've got Europa and Cosmodrome, yes, it's reskinned, but like they said, it's going to be lost sectors, so there will be new content there, which is exciting.
And it's going to be Cosmodrome later. It's going to be old, it's going to be after all this time.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, which is nice. It's not going to be like stuck in time, which is something that annoys me with Strike sometimes, is because it's like obviously stuck in time. But like this Cosmodrome is clearly a Cosmodrome that's been through all this shit. So it's definitely going to be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically they say that New Light, if you're a Guardian New Light, you're going to revive there. Ghost is going to find your Ghost is going to find you, but you won't find a ship. You'll stumble into Shah Han. And he's on a mission with his fire team to investigate what the Hive are up to in the Cosmodrome. He'll show you the ropes and help you find your way among the gameplay and systems of Destiny 2, which is something I've said multiple times.
I made a whole video about like how starting Destiny sucks and they need to revamp this. So I'm really looking forward to how these systems all are like portrayed. Because if it's still the same, like here's this list of bounty things, like you
can't hook people with that.
You just do it like D1 when you started, didn't you? You there and you killed some enemies, and then all of a sudden you had your grenade, your melee ability pop up. Then it was your grenade ability, and then it was your super ability, and it's like just do that. It works so well.
There was a story though that like went through that as well, where you go all the way up to fighting that devil captain that like came out, like he like walks out of the wall, and you're like, we're out of here, and then you come back later and you fight him, and that's like. And then you go, and that storyline actually goes all the way up until you fight Sepix, because that's the House of Devils storyline that was in Destiny. Now, again, it's like, if you like take out the busy work and stuff like that in Destiny 1, that's what, an hour and a half of content. That's so much better than doing like, even if it's just like something like that, but they do it with Hive instead or whatever. That is just so much better than like, here's a list of bounties, go do this.
Yeah, and we get to do it as well. Even if we've got 3 character slots, it says that existing players can go and do it, which is awesome because I haven't got to go and delete a character because I was like, I'll have to delete my hunter and start one again. But my 3 characters are my 3 characters from D1, so I don't really want to delete one if I don't have to. So
it's nice that veterans can do it too. Really, and it sounds like you'll be able to participate in this with Shah Han and his fire team, which would be really cool. And it's something I said, you guys remember I said this, I said I want NPCs to be involved in missions more often. And like, it sounds like Shah and them will be in the missions, which would be really, really cool. So,
definitely. So
that's cool. Definitely really cool. So, next is the plague lands are quarantined, obviously, but there'll be cool stuff to find in the Cosmodrome, and so it'll be cool. So, yeah, definitely cool. But we'll get to the main thing before we run out of time. Mod modifications. So basically, mods are changing. So what they say is energy type requirements, which is something Joker said way back when.
Yeah.
All of the weapon-oriented armor mods have been changed to any energy type. So hand cannon loader, no longer void. It'll be everything. Fusion rifle ammo finder, no longer solar. It'll be everything.
It was just such a redundant system.
Yeah. Just waste of time.
And then they were like, oh, okay, well, we understand that it's redundant, but we're like still gonna double down on this, and then
they
just make it to
realized
where
it was a
like
bad
if you
idea.
already have this like really upgraded piece of armor and it's got a perfect roll, well, you can either reset what you've put into it, or you can spend this ridiculous amount of materials to switch its energy type.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Why?
Yeah. I think this is because the upper level people at Bungie probably were getting sick of it themselves when they were playing, and they were like, all right, I think it's time to change it. They're like, all right, this sucks. Like, as a result of the above change, all arc charged with light mods now activate their second perk if you have any other arc mod equipped, or if you have any other arc charged with light mod socketed into any other armor piece you're wearing. All right, guess, makes sense. Removing the energy type requirements from weapon-focused mods have been a consistent piece of feedback. Yeah, we know. Doing so meant that every mod socket would be displayed 3 times as many mods at a time. Enhanced mod rebalancing. All mods that have an enhanced version of the mod, enhanced hand cannon loader, have had the base mod's efficacy increased to match that of the enhanced version of the mod. As a result, those enhanced mods have been deprecated, and the base mod's energy costs have been adjusted upwards slightly. Some mods have moved to different slots to create more competition. For example, the fast ready mods have been moved to the arm socket. Commentary: we consistently see feedback that players often don't start feeling the impact of mods until they have an enhanced mod. So, to resolve both issues, we decided to raise the floor of the effectiveness of all mods to the point where players were more likely to feel their impact, and to deprecate the 2 tiers of mods. This should also make having 2 different mods in the same category, i.e. hand cannon and shotgun loader, socketed at the same time more appealing than it was previously, where players often needed to double stack the same mod. So, I mean, I guess we can all say, really good decision. If you have enhanced mods on, switch them to the regular version, because the enhanced will be
I mean, I still just double stack.
I'm just going to switch them to the regular version. I mean, I don't really care about loaders that much.
Right.
I'm a hunter, so I don't really have to worry about that.
Double enhanced bow loader. That's where it's at. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
It's literally like just done.
Yeah.
Just insanely quick.
But obviously, this is obviously a really good change. I mean, this
100%.
is something that should have. This is another thing where we're like, this should have just been the way it was at the beginning. But I mean, hey, better late than never.
And then just to kind of skip along the raid mods, basically all the raid mods, that are leaving with the raids are leaving, those mods will be depreciated.
Yeah, which makes sense. So, and at least it's less shit to worry about. It's less mods, getting old mods out of the system that don't need to be there. So I don't think anybody should be bitching about that. I think that's a good decision.
Yeah, you're not going to use them. They only worked in those raids, so.
Yeah. Raid armors will have a 5th mod socket dedicated solely to its raids mods.
That's a good change.
It's a good change, sure.
And then all the exotics, past and future, are getting an additional slot as well, aren't they?
Yeah, combat mods. All armor released in Beyond Light in Season 12. All Last Wish and Garden of Salvation armor required starting in Season 12. And all Armor 2.0 exotic armor pieces, including those already possessed by players, that's a good point, will have a combat-style mod socket. In Season 12, this socket will accept all Charged with Light and Warmind Cell mods. All Armor 2.0 armor acquired during Seasons 8 through 11 have had their seasonal mod sockets replaced with a single unified legacy mod socket that can socket all Charged with Light mods, all Warmind Cell mods, all Nightmare Hunt mods, all Garden of Salvation mods, and all Last Wish mods.
Yeah, that was always annoying because it's like, man, I want to use these like really cool like specific mods, but I'm not going to change my helmet.
Exotic. Yeah. And that's a problem I'm running into right now, actually, is like when I'm running the fucking Halloween shit and I can't.
I just put my helmet back
it's driving
on.
me crazy. Yeah. But I'm like saving up the candy because I need to buy the last thing, because like I'm down to just the ship and I'm down to the last helmet. Once I get those, I'm taking off the fucking mask because I don't need it after that. But yeah, that's definitely a problem I was running into during the Halloween event, where I had to switch a shitload of stuff around so I could make it work, because I run taking light or taking charge and all that stuff. So like I had to switch it around so that my cloak had it, so I could still use an exotic chest piece, and it was just like a nightmare. So this is a good change. I mean, what do you think, John?
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's definitely a good change. Mods are. It's forced me to stay with certain gear, because don't agree with having to invest so much in swapping over. So from like solar to void, etc. So it's made me go, okay, well, I'm sticking with this, and it's kind of dictated that's why I like bow so much, because it's dictated the way that I play. And I do enjoy how I play and what I play, but it's also now I've got that freedom. If I want to drop a bow and I want to run hand cannon or I want to run something else, especially with the Tactics Plane, I can do that. And again, it's play your way. I'm still playing Destiny. I'm still playing, in that world that they've created, but I'm playing it my way, or more my way than I was in season 11. So I'm well up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we can all agree it's easily very good changes. I mean, this is going to do wonders for the game. It's definitely going to slim it down in a good way. Like, sometimes I don't want things to get casual fight or something like that, but this is good. This is a good version, a good example of slimming it down.
Being casualized and streamlining it.
So this is what's good about it. It's not casualizing the game like they did when D2 came out. So this is a really good change that will help simplify the game in a way that makes it more easier for people to get into the systems and to understand the mods better and all that. So other than that, closing out Season of Arrivals, these are things they're warning us about. Make sure that you do the Prophecy Dungeon, because it's not coming back until Season 13. Make sure, or 14 maybe, it's possible. It says later season. Ruinous Effigy quest will be leaving. Traveler's Chosen quest will be leaving. The Artifact will obviously be leaving. Umbrella Engrams will be leaving. And then it also said, make sure you finish your title. Because
and claim the stuff as well, because if you don't claim it, you'll lose it as well. So
so claim your title if you get it first. Other than that, also they said, this was from a little bit ago, but they updated all the Bungie reward codes for like the Prophecy Dungeon hoodie and stuff like that. The title pin and shit like that. They updated all the timelines for those, so they have new codes now. So if you're still looking for those people, go on your Bungie rewards, and there'll be new codes now and new timelines. So like the new deadlines will be like November 31st for certain things and shit like that, or something like that. November something. But they're definitely updated now so that people have more time to get them, because obviously people don't have time to get them before.
Like 7 weeks, whatever, wasn't it?
Yeah, so these are definitely good changes. Minor changes, and not everyone cares about that kind of stuff, but, good changes for people who like to collect stuff like that. Like, I definitely like to collect some of that stuff, so.
That's definitely good.
Yeah, so, I mean, other than that, we got the movie of the week and stuff like that, which is cool. But definitely a good TWAB. A lot of cool stuff in it. Definitely a lot of cool stuff to be excited about. The Bungie store has some really, really cool stuff this week, and you get a really cool emblem. They have artwork for Halloween. They have some T-shirts, some pins. They got 2 really cool jackets that are like moon themed with like the Chinese symbols from the Chinese taikonauts. Hoodies and sweaters, beanies.
Moon's haunted, man.
Yeah, man. The moon is haunted. And also, if you go on the Bungie store, listeners, this is good until the 15th, so I'll make sure to get this episode out in time. You can pre-order the Empathetic Ghost Shell collectible pin. And if you do, you get a really cool emblem, and the money from this will go to help fight the wildfires that are affecting America right now. So if you're interested in charity, you get a cool emblem, just like Bungie always does for us. It's $15 plus shipping, but it goes to a good cause. So that's something to keep your eyes open to. Obviously, we can all agree that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Orchid was going through the wildfires. It was affecting the area that she lives in. She's okay, thankfully. But, this is what the Destiny community is really good at, is supporting each other and supporting charities. And that's what Bungie's really good at. So that's obviously something we can praise them for. But, yeah, I would say it was a really good TWAB and a cool trailer. Definitely was really beneficial to help everyone get hyped up. You definitely have a lot of questions.
At least about the weapons. I'm like...
Yeah.
Now, of course, the weapons always look better in the trailer than...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But definitely we have a lot of... We still have concerns for Beyond Light. We still have questions that need to be answered. But Definitely a lot of cool
We're
stuff.
getting answers, aren't we? Little by little. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they gotta drip it out, right? Gotta build that hype train.
So, what are your closing thoughts on all this, John?
So TWAB was great. Only thing I wanted to go over briefly was if both of you finished the Interference quest line this week, how awesome was it? Because it was, I thought it was amazing.
I haven't finished it yet.
Oh,
yeah, I haven't had a chance to do it yet.
Oh,
I will finish it tonight.
Okay.
I will finish it tonight.
It was really, really good. Really, really good. Yeah, so that was what I was going to go over, but if you guys haven't done it, yeah, it's like, oh
we'll
my
talk
god,
about it next week.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's awesome. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I was proper hyped for it. I was like, oh, you've not done it now, so.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Go over on Twitter.
I know we had a question. The one thing we're looking forward to most from Beyond Light. John, you want to answer that real quick for you?
Yeah. So, obviously you've got the base bit, but it's the new light experience because my understanding was that the Cosmodrome wasn't coming until later. So the Cosmodrome is there from the beginning, or at least that's the way it now reads. It's so exciting because my partner, she'd never experienced Destiny 1. So even though this isn't Destiny 1, it's still going back to a part of it. And I'm going to be able to, like, the Hive Night bit back in the beta, going down there and get absolutely battered. I'm going to be able to take her there and go, just off this cliff here, near Rasputin. It's there, and you just, it was like, well, it wasn't school level, but it was whatever it was, and you just got absolutely wrecked. And that is a memory that I'm going to be able to relive in some form or another. I imagine there'll be a lot of sector down there probably. So for me right now, cool. that's what I'm looking forward to most is taking her on that trip. So,
of course.
What about yourselves?
You go ahead. You want to go ahead, Joker?
I'm definitely looking forward to see what gets, for better or worse, what gets buffed, what gets nerfed, how that's going to affect the sandbox. I always like new sandboxes, and I'm super interested in the story. I mean, like, we're going to Europa. The Exo Stranger's back. The Exo Stranger has, in my opinion, always been one of the more compelling characters in Destiny lore, especially because, like, Destiny 1 is a time travel story, and most people just don't realize it. And so you got all of that going on, and it's going to be really cool, I hope. Like, I'm excited for it. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But, like, as far as, like, you know, past the first, you know, day, kind of, like I said earlier, I'm really interested. I'm looking forward to hopefully whatever engram type system they come up with now, you know, whatever fucking end game replayable content they come up with, stuff like that. And I'm really, really hoping we don't get into another kind of seasonal content rut like we've had, because I don't think the model worked this year at all. I think it burnt people more out on it more than, like, it helped.
Yeah.
I think people would rather have a little bit more of a drought than, like, bad content every other weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it gives people time to play other games, you know, and not feel obligated to come back to Destiny just because, Season of the Warmind is a thing. Yeah, but then it was just shit content.
Oh, so, it's that mentality. It's like, because you don't want to miss out, right? And it's not even the FOMO argument. It's the, like, if I don't play this, I'm going to be so underleveled for when shit that I actually want to play comes out.
Yeah.
So I have to do it, or, you know, you have to at least engage with it on some level so that you're keeping up, even if you're not, like, max level or whatever. But you know, so I'm really looking forward to how they decide to change that, and if they decide to change it, because, hey, you know what? This model's probably been pretty fucking lucrative for them, even though we were complaining about it and stuff like that. They probably made some decent money off of it. Yeah. And keeping people engaged with the game. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is definitely something that we needed to hear. This is definitely something I think the community really needed right now. But, you know, we still have our concerns, and we'll cover that next episode, and we'll also cover what we briefly touched upon about cutscenes and investing in the world and all that. We can devote an episode to that kind of stuff, and hopefully.
And hey,
we'll have
if the one story mission that John was excited about is as good as he's hyping it up to be, we can use that to lead into the type of storytelling. Segue. The type of storytelling we want in Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more to it, but that announcement is made me go, I need to experience that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'd probably do that before the Europa stuff. If it's literally just that and it's like 30 minutes to an hour, I'd just get that out of the way. Done.
Yeah.
It's done. Experienced it great, and then crack on with Europa because the game's going to get battered as it is anyway because servers go down the night before, don't they? For pre-patch and everything. So they're offline for
you got to
10
uninstall.
hours.
No, you actually have to uninstall.
Yeah. You got
and then you got to like reinstall Destiny 2.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's down for 10 hours, I think.
Yeah,
in
that's
total.
crazy.
So yeah, which is good. So I'm going to download it and save it to an external hard drive, and then when we both get our 1Xs the next day, boom, transfer it over, done, happy days.
Oh yeah, you know what? I should probably do that then. Remind me to do that.
Yeah.
Hold on. What if it's not the same? Oh wait, you're talking 1X as in the new Series X?
Or the Series X.
What if it's not this? I mean, you could probably still play it, but what if there's a different version for the 1X?
Well, they've currently not announced. So
not yet.
If there is an enhanced version, then hopefully, there will be one. But hopefully, what they'll do is they won't release it on the same day as the console launch. They'll give it a week or two because otherwise you'll download that and then you'll download another X amount of gigabytes of updated version. I just want to play. I'll just play the standard version. I won't download the updated version.
Yeah.
So just play. But we'll see how we get on.
See, my internet's super quick. I have the best package they offer, and I'm just like so happy about it because I upload YouTube videos now, and it's just like 10 minutes for a 20-minute video. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah,
I've got good out 500 meg download, so it's good, but it's also the Xbox servers are what limit you. You know, PS4 servers, like Steam, Xbox servers. So it's them that, and especially in Europe, a lot of things have been throttled just because of COVID, because everybody being from home, they've throttled a lot of speeds and services. So, yeah. But it's okay because we don't have Donald Trump. So, on that note.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you for listening to this episode of the Destiny Corner. We look forward to you guys coming in for episode. This is 13, right? So we have one more episode, and then we're taking a brief little break until season 2 starts for Beyond Light. So we hope that you all tune in for the season finale. We'll do something interesting for it. We will figure something out. But thanks again.
I thought we were just gonna complain more. No.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm joking.
Thanks again to Joker and John for being on. Thanks, guys.
Our pleasure, guys. Take care.